You've probably heard the 80-20 rule. Did you know that it applies to sword fighting too? Most beginners spend their 80% of energy on the wrong things, and they don't focus on the 20% that actually win fights. The most common beginner mistake that I see is that they focus on hitting harder. They focus on knowing each of these fancy little guards, which of course on the internet look very fancy and very cool, and they copy everything from YouTube, which isn't wrong, but they probably don't do it right. So even I at the beginning focused on copying very fancy moves from YouTube, but I didn't practice the fundamentals, the basics of sword fighting. So what actually the 20% that matters the most? It's three things. Very simple. Footwork, distance, and timing. That's all you need to win every fight, even when your opponent is a lot stronger than you. But it doesn't matter. If you have these three things, then you have the ability to choose when and where you're engaging your opponent. So these three things result in 80% of wins in an actual exchange. For example, small steps beats brute force of your opponent. If you know how to and when to use your precise small fencing steps. So it doesn't matter that opponent is a lot bigger than you. If you know how to use it against him, so use his brute force and unrefined technique against him with your simple yet very effective footwork, which will most commonly result you in winning the fight. If I had a partner, it would be simpler to show you, but you have to imagine that I'm sparring someone. So imagine that I have a sparring mask too. And hey, I remember to grab my padded longsword to show you that you can do it with this kind of tool as well. But yes, for these three things that I mentioned, you don't even need to hold your sword. You just need proper footwork. So let's imagine that my opponent stays in this kind of guard here. It's very menacing guard because it threatens you psychologically with a huge potential cut into your head or into your chest. But that's the thing, it's only threatening, and it's a lot harder. I mean, it's really easy to counter. So when my opponent stays with this guard here, all I need to do to win against him, before he even initiates the attack, I need to take small 2 steps to decrease the distance to him and make a powerful, explosive yet short lunge into his hands. And when I lunge, I hit his hands, and then I already have my opposition, so my blade, near his own. So when he tries to double me from this kind of guard, from this powerful position, I just simply need to parry it. So just from attacking my opponent, I already have really short distance to actually defend against him, so I don't get wounded as well. So that's what I mean. If your distance is wrong, then even the most powerful strike will fail you. So you need to focus on footwork. So you need to strengthen your legs first to deliver the strike. Of course, the actual attack sequence, so for example the lunge, is initiated with the hands first, as I mentioned in my previous videos. But to deliver, to prepare your attack, you need preparational steps. So you need to decrease the distance to your opponent, but very controlled. So even if you think you've planned it in your head that you will strike your opponent with a lunge, of course you've thought about it like for 2 seconds. So yes, now I will take 2 small steps and a lunge to my opponent to hit him first and then block right after. But you take those 2 controlled steps, of course short, to be prepared even when your opponent initiates the attack first. So you don't have time to be the first to connect your strike. So what I mean, you take those 2 preparational steps, but you still keep in the back of your mind that he can be faster than you, because maybe he's already prepared to attack you right away. So you take those 2 short steps to control your movement and control your fighting. So you choose how to respond to each movement of your opponent. So coming back to my example, when I take 2 short steps and I see my opponent coming with an attack here, I take those 2 steps to quickly parry him while going back, of course. So I see that he's decreasing the distance as well as me. So when I plan to do 2 steps, I do only 1 step and 1 step back to give myself more time and more distance to actually parry him, and then riposte with a powerful parry and riposte from the other side. My outside line would be my left side. By the way, inside my program called From Gamer to Swordsman, I thoroughly break down this concept of 80-20 rule in historical fencing as a step-by-step process, especially for the beginners who think that sword fighting is all about powerful attacks. So if you want specific guidance and accountability from me, then check out the link in the description. I talk more about how to actually train longsword with simple gear like this padded longsword, for example. So let's get back into the video. So let me tell you how this 80-20 rule actually changed my training at the starting phase of my HEMA journey. Instead of wasting 10 hours on random swinging with my padded longsword into just air, I focused on footwork specifically, because after just a few a few HEMA sessions I had, or maybe after a whole month even, I realized that footwork plus distance control and timing is everything I need to win against most of the fighters, most of my friends, of course. So I focused specifically on that, and right now I still lack these things. Like, I see that I can improve in these areas, because recently I got stronger in my upper chest area because I'm lifting weights. And let's go. But yeah, coming back to my point, right now I know that I have the ability to train even more footwork, to progress with my longsword skill. It's not really about the weapon you choose and the raw strength of the attack, or being faster. Being faster is of course consists of being stronger and having more control over your blade here. But actually winning the exchange consists of these 3 things, which are the 80-20 rule. So at the beginning in sparring, I started to win against bigger and stronger guys than me with swifter and quicker footwork and of course timing. So using their disadvantages against them. So if they're bigger than me and they have longer arms than me, which isn't ideal, I would specifically lure them near me. So to explosively attack into their head with a explosive flèche, or mid preparation, bait them out to attack me, and actually be prepared to parry and riposte them right away. And if the exchange keeps going, then of course then it consists of parrying, riposte, so on, until someone gets hit. So the real life example that I've seen is on tournaments where bigger and insanely strong fencers lose to nimble, swift guys who were a lot calmer, but they had the power and trained muscles in their legs, basically. I don't mean that being shorter is an advantage or in fencing, and I would fight you if you even suggested that, because I know how much of a problem it is for someone who's just a bit shorter than most of your opponents. And I'm speaking from my own experience. Most of the guys are higher than me, basically. But most often than not, I still won against them. Not every time, of course. I'm not ideal, I'm not perfect, but I'm striving to. So I accepted everyone who wanted to fight me, so any challenge that anyone threw at me. And I just won with precise footwork and precise timing. Of course, being faster in the blade as well, but not always. Bigger guys with stronger muscles in their arms have these huge, like, fast attacks from their main side, which go even through my own block. But I played with them with distance management, of course. I often counter-attack into them with a swift underside cut to the hands. And of course, to keep distance from their powerful attack, I kept my distance. The extra advantage that you can do is to always measure the distance to your opponent and the blade that is threatening you. It's like in chess. If you move pieces in the wrong time, you'll lose. So the main takeaway for you in this video would be to stop focusing on the 80% of fluff that doesn't matter in an actual sword fight. That would be fancy guards, powerful strikes, and big swings. Of course, these things help you out a bit with smoothness and so on, but actually the exchange consists of three main things. So the 20%, which are footwork, distance, and timing. And that's all you need. You'll improve 10 times faster if you focus only on these three simple things. My call to action for you is you integrate these main three things into every and each of your HEMA sessions. When you're practicing your longsword technique, even if you're solo in the backyard or in the park, training by yourself, try to imagine what would actually work to defeat your opponent. It wouldn't be these hectic moves of a sword where you change your guard very often. It will actually be precise footwork, so strengthening your legs, even not in HEMA environment, but pushing your legs to your limit and measuring the distance to your opponent and to his blade, which he can threaten you with, and reacting accordingly. So maybe shadow boxing, shadow fencing, if you can call it like that, would work. But I would recommend for you to get at least a dummy for training your distance management and your direct and precise cuts, so the attacks. Of course, the dummy doesn't have a sword, so the opposition to work against, but at least knowing when the target is would really help you out if you're training solo. But if you're going to the HEMA club to spar with someone, then you already know that these things are really important. Look, the system wants you weak and distracted by feeding you achievements in video games and fancy sword fights in Hollywood movies. But you have to actually break through these artificial things and start your own longsword journey. I'm preaching you this from the very beginning of my first video, that you have to do it yourself. You have to go out into the real world, grab even a sturdy straight stick, or buy yourself a padded longsword and a fencing mask to get your first steps into becoming a swordsman. So that's why I also created my program and a community as well called From Gamer to Swordsman, where I teach you directly how to take these first steps into becoming a longsword swordsman, how to learn basic knowledge, so fundamentals, by yourself solo in your backyard, and how to actually not waste your money on the gear, advanced gear that you don't need right away. Everything you need is just this simple gear that will cost you up to $100, and that's still too much. So yeah, check out the link in the description. It's also a community of guys who are training the same way as you, and they're sharing their own experience and feedback, and accountability if you need someone. So yeah, check out the link in the description. And remember, always take the initiative.